Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've been able to do a video about mining, and I'm happy to say that the 3.3 update brings along with it a number of improvements to mining and adds a whole new layer of depth and interest to this career path. I've had a lot of fun experimenting with mining in the past, but after a while I started to find that it got a bit tedious in a number of ways. And it's good to see that a lot of these issues were addressed and have been improved upon. First among these improvements are the changes that have been done to the UI. The UI has been cleaned up, as you can see, and it's much easier to read now. Also, the thresholds and the target areas have all been significantly increased in size. They've also added in some quality of life changes to how the mining and extraction lasers work. If you can hold the mining laser steady and in one spot, the fracture meter will increase at more of an even rate, rather than sporadically jumping back and forth like it did before. Likewise, if you can keep the extraction beam steady and focused in on one spot, it'll tractor beam the rocks in at a faster rate and speed up the collection process. But the biggest of these improvements, hands down, is the ability to now mine asteroids. So I know what you're saying, but isn't mining asteroids just like mining rocks but in space? Well, in some ways it is. But this one change in perspective actually alters nearly every aspect of mining, which includes how you locate asteroids, how you use your scanner, how you handle extracting the minerals, and in the dangers that you're going to be facing. One element that asteroid mining adds to the game is creating a need for you to utilize the different ranges of your scanner. Mineable asteroids are much more spread out in space than they are on a planet. And for the amount of space that you're going to be trying to cover, you're going to have to use the longer range options of the scanner to help save you time and to narrow down the search for mineable rocks. The ability to shorten the scanner's length in exchange for a longer range also can come into play when you see a cluster of asteroids, which experience will dictate how powerful of a scanner range you're going to need to choose while still using a beam that's wide enough to fully encompass the rock cluster that you're trying to scan. It takes scanning and turns it into more of a skill, rather than just always setting it on a 360-degree arc and spamming it over and over again until you find something. Mining in space also presents some unique challenges to the act of mining itself. While planet-side, once the rock breaks, as long as you haven't maxed out the overcharge meter to the point where it explodes, the worst a rock will do is tumble away along with the topography of the terrain, which can be a pain if you're mining along the side of a cliff. But really, that's going to be the worst of it. In space, the rocks are going to scatter in all directions once you've fractured it. The further they're going to go and how fast is determined by how much you've overcharged the asteroid. If you've overcharged it too much, then you're going to have to do some hunting to get all the pieces before they end up getting too far away. Also, when the rocks are flying off like that, they also have a tendency to start tumbling, making it more difficult to keep a steady beam on them, which means that it's going to take more time to fully extract them into your saddlebags. At first, I spent a good portion of my time aimlessly floating around every asteroid field that I came across, looking for asteroids to mine. After what felt like an eternity of scanning over and over again in an attempt to find something, I eventually got to the point where I started to doubt if this feature had been added into the game or not. If you look at the rings of Yela, clusters of asteroids have been added in that are centered within a nebulous-like cloud that causes them to stand out from the rest of the surrounding area. It was recommended to me by a friend to go do my mining around those areas. And although I didn't have to specifically enter those gravity wells to do my mining, mineable rocks can be found more frequently around them than they are anywhere else. You can easily find a number of these gravity wells located within a close proximity to Grimhex. So you're going to be seeing a lot more mining expeditions being launched from and returning to Grimhex in the future. I've also found some mineable rocks in similar gravity well type areas surrounding Delamar. The number of mineable asteroids are much less numerous and more spread out than the number of mineable rocks you'd find previously planet-side. So once you find one, you're going to be far less likely to pass on it regardless of its makeup and value. Luckily, a lot of asteroids I've mined so far have consisted of higher quality materials than most of the planet-side minerals that I've come across. Mining in space has an added issue to contend with that I haven't found to be so much of a problem when I've been mining planet-side, and that's pirates. If you stick around any area for too long, you tend to attract unwanted attention, and they're not shy about coming over and saying hello, pirate style. And I found this to be far worse of a problem when mining over in the area surrounding Delamar than I did while searching through the rings of Yella. I like what they've been doing with mining, and seeing how this is still being considered as the Tier 0 level of implementation, I'm excited to see what other innovations they're planning on doing for this career path in the future. What I'm really looking forward to is being able to take out the Orion and gobbling up these E-class sized asteroids in one bite like they're pieces of candy. Also, it seems like they're working on making the mineable materials more unique looking and more reflective of the kinds of material that they're made of. They're also working on creating more options for mining, like being able to use handheld tools to first extract smaller, more expensive elements from the asteroid that would otherwise be destroyed by the fracturing laser. And lastly, work is being done to create different size asteroids that are specifically made for larger and capital class mining ships to chew on. I'm looking forward to seeing how this career path is going to continue to progress over time, and in being able to report these changes to you as they happen. I'm Law of the West, take care, and thanks for watching.